everybody. We are talking about intervals again today, and this time we are going to go on to 6/, 7ths, octaves, and then unisons. Okay, so let's talk about the intervals. Interval is how we measure the distance between two notes, okay? So if you're talking about if your teacher says, what is this interval here in Witch's Dance? So Witch's Dance starts bum, ba-dum, okay? And it goes F sharp, E for violin. So count those letters. What's the distance? How many letters from F sharp to E? 2. So it's a second. Witch's Dance starts with a second, and it's a descending second. You don't have to put that, but it's just a second, okay? And you know that it goes down. Okay, so those are intervals. Let's talk about a 6th. So, backtrack one more time. So we talked last week that seconds go line to space, thirds go line to line or space to space, okay? That's a third. A 4th goes line, skip the space, skip the line. So it's a line to space. A 5th goes line, skip a line, line, right? I'll write it out here. Okay, so I want to point something out. Do you notice that if it goes line space, it's 2 and 4? It's an even number. And if it goes line, line, or space, space, like this is a 5th too. If it's the same thing, it's an odd number, okay? Just notice that. Okay, so 6th. A 6 is an even number. So it's going to go line to space, okay? So for here on A, we have A, B, I'll draw the notes to make it make sense. B, C, D, E. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So A, B, C, D, E, F. So A up to F is a 6th. Okay? And it skips a space, lands on a line. Okay? So it's line to space or space to line, and it's a big leap. Okay? If it's an F sharp, if it's an F flat, if it's just F, that doesn't matter. We're just counting letters. The letters make all the difference. Okay? If you play it with 1 and 2, like your fingers don't matter. We are just counting letters. That's how we determine what size an interval is. Okay? So 6th. Write it on. You guys should be good at this by now. Write a 6th going up on the fingerboard, and then write some going down, and write in the letter of the note that it is. Then notice on the staff, it goes space to line or line to space, and then coming down, line to space or space to line. Then you're going to draw some 6th going up. Again, I give you the first letter and the first note. You draw a 6th going up. Draw the whole note and then tell me what letter it is, okay? It's a way to double check yourself to make sure if you write B and then you draw a C, you should pay attention to the fact that B to C there aren't 6 letters in between, okay? Interval of a 7th. Now, 7th, again, you're counting letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, for me, I really like to count to 3 and 4 because that's what we mostly do when we're counting rhythms, right? So I just think A to A and come back a letter. That's 7, okay? So if that makes sense to you, you can use that trick too. So a 7th going up, a 7th going down. A 7th going up, A to G, And then going down, A to A, we're going to go down to B. Okay? Does that make sense? Then you've got to draw it on the fingerboard. So make sure you're paying attention if they're going up or down. And then we've got them on the staff. And then we have octaves. Octaves are A to A or A to A. These are the nice ones because you know the letter already. An octave is just going to be that same letter, same pitch, okay? It's 8 notes. Octaves are the other time you hear about octaves are in scales. So we'll say a 2-octave scale. So that means you go A to A, and then from that A to the next A, okay? Any questions on that kind of stuff? Ask me, ask your teacher, shoot me an email or a text. And octaves it's at 8 notes, it's an even number, so it's going to be line to space or space to line. Okay, unison. This is one of the intervals that doesn't kind of get a lot of attention. A unison is when it's the same note, okay? So if it's A and A, let's say you're going to play A, the interval is what we call, it's a 1. It's 1 letter, okay? But we don't call it a first. We just call it a unison, okay? We often don't call them eighths either. We call them octaves. So anytime you have 8 letters or 1 letter where it's the same, it's octave and unison. Other than that, it's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, okay? And then often you'll hear 9th and 10th. And that means that you went past an octave and you kept going, okay? So unison. We can play unisons on our instruments if we're playing that note in a position or on our 4th finger. So like violins, think about playing 4th finger A on the D string. If you play 4th finger A and open A at the same time, you're going to be playing a double stop unison, okay? Or if you just if we're measuring the distance between 2 notes in a melody, like A, and you played like Mississippi Stop Stop, Twinkle, A is all unisons, intervals, okay? Then I ask you some questions below. Everybody plays all of these pieces, okay? So thinking about it like number 12, the first interval of chorus from Judas Maccabeus. So the very first 2 notes, when you play the first note and the second note, what is that interval? Okay, that's my question. So, and again, remember when you count intervals, you count the first note as 1. You're going to get sick of hearing me say that, okay? But it's super important. Count the first letter as 1. Otherwise, all of your intervals will be wrong, okay? You'll say that A to C is a second because you went A, B, C, and it's not. A to C is a third, okay? So you'll get all of your intervals wrong if you don't count that first letter as 1. Okay, so this week, just 6/7 and octaves, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great week.